as you see the Fort Pierce Central Cobra Band just beginning their routine here at halftime. We will see from both bands, in fact from both schools we should say, at this ball game, as we hope to see and be able to bring you throughout the year not only the ball games, but of course the action with the athletes. We'd like to show you the other aspect of the high school football game, which is the halftime performance by the band, and we have some outstanding youngsters involved at all of these schools as musicians. Dave George.
And the bands, as you know, practice almost as many hours, if not more, than the athletic teams, and they're out there in uniforms, and it's just as hot. And you may have heard and read about some of the bands that are even having trouble in West Palm Beach, down where people start passing out from the heat. So they do study as far as musicians. They have to work on the playing. They have to work also on their routines on the field to get into the different formations, and it does take a lot of practice, and they deserve a lot of credit.
Absolutely right, Dave George. And I'll tell you, we saw as we arrived here early tonight around 5:30, the band was here earlier than we were as we were setting up for the telecast. And they were out here practicing their routines. You're watching the Fort Pierce Central Cobra Marching Band. And I would say a good deal larger than the bands we have seen on the high school level, Dave. And I'm sure it numbers more than a couple of hundred, maybe just around the 200 mark.
Well, another thing happens, they do give scholarships, grant and aids to these musicians to help them further their college careers, but not only in music but in academics, and a lot of them go on to play in college bands that you see at halftimes in these college performances. We might mention that these bands also compete. You talk about the state tournaments, the district tournaments for your athletic teams. These bands do go to competitions in districts on into state competitions for awards. Not only that, but there are national contests held throughout the United States, and a lot of your bands do travel to that, and it is expensive, and at times you'll see the bands do need some help sometimes, and will be out with fundraisers, so we ask people to help these high school performers get to these contests, because it is a great experience and a learning experience for them.
And we've seen both of our local bands here in town in Martin County take trips in the last couple of years. We'll be talking with Vicki Dremstead of the South Fork High Bulldog Band in just a few moments as they come on the field, and she'll be describing their performance tonight here at halftime. As we present the Cobra Marching Band. Round of applause in the South Fork band. Nice shot of that clarinet player on the Cobra Marching Band, as I think Bill Stacy has taken over the camera down on the field to give our our cameraman arrest, Bill Stacy from Cable Marketing Systems, with home offices in West Palm Beach and also in Miami, providing some outstanding pictures of tonight's ball game and halftime performance for you here on Perry Cable Channel 3. And I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you'll support us throughout the remainder of the football season. Not only, as Dave says, by supporting the high schools, but also by possibly, if you have a business, we'd like to see your business participate in our telecasts each Saturday morning, as you're watching right now. They start at 9 o'clock. Saturday mornings, you'll see the South Fork and Martin County home football games.
As we talked about earlier about the bands, I think too is coming out supporting these football teams. As you know, both South Fork and especially Fort Pierce Central, in their long history as a high school, have provided us with a lot of players that have not only gone on to play in college ball, but also that we watch on Sunday afternoon in the pro games. So you get their start right here in the high school with some outstanding coaching and the learning experience, and you'd be surprised at the talent these young men have, and we invite everyone to come out and support their local teams.
Absolutely right, Dave George. We second that wholeheartedly. Let's run over the scoring plays for the folks that may be just tuning in on Perry Cable Channel 3 this Saturday morning as we are recapping the ball game. Of course, for you here at the half, it's 13-6. Fort Pierce Central leading the South Fork Bulldogs. First score came at 6:21 remaining in the first quarter. It was a 75-yard pass play from Greg Howard to Herb Mooten. The kick was blocked and South Fork was on top with 6:21 remaining in the first quarter by a score of 6-0. Then just about 4 minutes later, a 36-yard pass, as you see us now. Yours truly, Hamp Elliott, and the tall guy over here, not necessarily the most handsome one, but is Dave George, our color commentator on our broadcasts all throughout the year, and we're glad to have him along as your picture is being provided by Cable Marketing Systems out of Miami and West Palm Beach. With just about 2:56 remaining in the first quarter, 36-yard pass from Wayman Phillips to Kirk Haynes. The kick also was no good, tied our score at 6-6. Second quarter, 2:36 remaining. Again, it was a big play, a 53-yard pass from Wayman Phillips to Brooks, Dan Brooks. The extra point by Phillips was good, and the score is 13-6 here at halftime. Fort Pierce Central leading the South Fork Bulldogs.
Some other stats in that first half for South Fork Bulldogs. Greg Howard was 4 out of 14 in passing for 107 yards. Garland had 64 yards on the ground for 9 carries, which is an average of 7 yards. For the Fort Pierce Central Cobras, Phillips was 6 for 7 in the aerial attack for 163 yards, and Noble had 17 yards on the ground to lead the Cobras, 6 carries with an average of 3 yards.
So that's where we stand here at halftime as you're watching the Cobra Band perform, and let's listen